Meta is providing users with more information about its AI systems. The tech company released documents breaking down how it recommends content and how users can influence what they see.
Meta, the owner of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has been unveiling its plan to bring artificial intelligence into our daily routine.
When Meta released its Meta AI chatbot last year, it left much to be desired. In some circumstances, it produced less satisfactory results than OpenAI's ChatGPT-4, and its slow performance drove some users off. But with the help of Llama 3, all has changed. On the 18th of April, Meta announced a big update to Meta AI, which includes a new separate website for using the tool. The company has integrated Meta AI into Instagram and Facebook search tools and messaging apps, Messenger and WhatsApp. Meta promised significantly improved speed, intelligent image production, and faster performance using two new Llama 3 models that were released alongside the Meta AI upgrade. So I spent some time with Meta AI in the browser and on Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram. In today's video, I will review everything I found. It is extremely shocking. Meta AI's mission is to be the most intelligent AI assistant that people can freely use across the world, according to CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The Meta AI assistant is the only chatbot I'm aware of that now integrates real-time search results from Bing and Google. Meta determines which search engine is utilized to answer a question. Its image generation has also been improved to include animations, basically GIFs, and high-resolution images are now generated on the fly while typing. Meanwhile, a Perplexity-inspired panel of prompt recommendations when you first start a chat window is intended to demystify what a general-purpose chatbot can do, according to Meta's head of generative AI, Ahmed Al-Dali. While Meta AI was previously only available in the United States, it is currently being rolled out in English in Australia, Canada, Ghana, Jamaica, Malawi, New Zealand, Nigeria, Pakistan, Singapore, South Africa, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, with more nations and languages to follow. It's a long way from Zuckerberg's vision of a genuinely global AI assistant. Still, this expanded rollout brings Meta AI closer to someday reaching the company's more than 3 billion daily users. There's a parallel to be drawn here between Stories and Reels, two era-defining social media formats pioneered by upstarts, Snapchat and TikTok, respectively, and then added onto Meta's apps, making them even more pervasive. Some might describe this as shameless copying. However, it's evident that Zuckerberg sees Meta's massive scale and its capacity to adapt to new trends as a competitive advantage quickly. And he's following the same strategy with Meta AI, deploying it everywhere and spending heavily on underlying models. So, how does Meta AI work? Meta is supported by two open-source Llama 3 models, which are freely used by third-party developers. One with 8 billion parameters and one with 70 billion parameters. At a high level, parameters determine a model's complexity and ability to learn from training data. Llama 3 is an excellent example of how quickly these AI models scale. The largest edition of Llama 2, launched last year, contained 70 billion parameters, but the US Llama 3 version would have more than 400 billion, according to Zuckerberg. Llama 2 trained on 2 trillion tokens, basically the words or units of basic meaning that make up a model, but the large version of Llama 3 has almost 15 trillion. OpenAI has not officially confirmed the number of parameters or tokens in GPT-4. Llama 3's primary goal was to reduce false refusals significantly, or the number of times a model claims it cannot respond to a stimulus that is innocuous. Competition with everything out there. Benchmarks. We can see here that the benchmarks are somewhat startling. We can see that the Meta Llama 3 Instruct model performs well, and the reason these results are so unexpected is that these models are genuinely cutting edge, which means that they are the best you can get in terms of AI. So there is now nothing better than the 8 billion parameter model or the 7 billion parameter size. With that, Llama 3 is leading the way regarding open source. Now, one of the most surprising things that I believe most people were surprised by was the fact that if you look at some of the benchmarks, we can see that this right here is Claude Sonnet, which was part of Claude 3's family of large language models, but it appears that Meta has surpassed it with Llama 3, which is quite surprising. We don't know how large Claude 3 Sonnet is. Still, It's surprising that a 70 billion parameter language model can outperform a state-of-the-art model that many people use daily for a variety of tasks, demonstrating that this industry is currently and consistently being shaken up in terms of who is the market leader on benchmarks for different size and price points. And we can see that this will be a crucial area of supremacy for Meta and Llama 3 because of their capacity to constantly tweak and upgrade their models and thrash them in benchmarks. Honestly, I don't think anyone expected this, given that these models are open source and primarily intended for the developer community. While we expected improvements that outperform Gemini 1.5 Pro, some benchmarks, such as the MMLU, are surprising. Of course, when we compare it to other models of similar sizes, such as Gemma, we can observe that Llama 3 completely outperforms Google's Gemma, and of course Mistral 7B Instruct in terms of performance and overall ability. So this was something that, you can look at and see that right now it appears that we're on a path where even companies like Mistral are being beaten in terms of their ability to launch large language models or AI systems that are consistently at the front of the pack in terms of their ability, which is, to be honest, quite surprising. So with that stated, there was some more information you should be aware of. One of the things they did was try to optimize performance for real-world circumstances, and to that aim, they created a new high-quality human assessment set. This assessment set includes 1,800 prompts for 12 major use cases, such as asking for assistance, brainstorming, classification, closed and answering, coding, creative writing, extraction, inhabiting a character, SL persona, open question answering, reasoning, rewriting, and summary. Of course, our modeling teams do not have access to this assessment set to prevent unintentional overfitting of our models. So essentially, they employed a new assessment set, which we believe is extremely important because we have always stated that humans are the final consumers of these goods, so they should be optimized for humans rather than benchmarks. And with that said, I decided to test out the updated Meta AI. First, I queried Meta AI about the situation between Israel and Iran. It answered with a concise, bulleted list that included dates, but only cited one CNN item. Like many others I've tried, this request ends with a link to a Bing search while using the online interface and a Google search on Instagram. I inquired Meta, and a spokesman explained that these are essentially search promotion partnerships. To see if Meta AI was piggybacking on Bing's own AI model, which Microsoft in turn borrows from OpenAI, I went through and looked at the Copilot response to the suggested question. It also included a bulleted list with similar information, but better inline links and citations. Definitely distinct. Meta AI's response was truthful and up to date, if not particularly eloquent. The mobile response was much more compressed and difficult to track down, so be aware that you are receiving a truncated response. Next, I inquired about any recent patterns on TikTok that a parent should be aware of. It responded with a high-level overview of what creators do on the social media platform, but nothing recent. Yes, I am aware that individuals create comedy skits, humorous, relatable, or parody content on TikTok. Thank you. When I posed a similar query concerning Instagram trends, I received a cheerful response using marketing-type words like, replying with Reels creates conversations, AI generates new opportunities, and text posts thrive on the gram. I assumed it was being very enthusiastic about its creators' platforms, but it was regurgitating, word for word, an SEO bait Instagram trends post from Hootsuite. Next, to test out when faced with a bit of controversy, I asked Meta AI why Donald Trump's followers are primarily elderly and white. It's a factual inquiry, although certainly more delicate than inquiring about medal tallies. The response was fairly balanced, even challenging the assertion contained in the question. Unfortunately, it did not include any sources or links to searches for this one. This is too bad, because this type of contact provides an excellent opportunity for people to learn something new. I also inquired about the development of white nationalism and received a rather comprehensive list of reasons why we are witnessing what we are seeing around the world. Meta AI made the following statement. It's crucial to address these factors through education, empathy, and inclusive policies to combat the rise of white nationalism and promote a more equitable society. So, it didn't take one of those aggressively neutral attitudes you occasionally see. There are no links or sources on this one either. I believe they are avoiding citations on certain themes for the time being, which I understand. But isn't this where citations are most needed? Future. It is difficult, if not impossible, to forecast how Meta AI would perform in such a competitive AI market. However, if it has any advantage, it is the ability to swiftly query. And while it may not stand out from rival LLMs, it is no longer lagging behind. That, paired with its ease of use, makes it a legitimate player in the AI market. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe.